Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. Friends, I got some fun new goodies from Spellbinders and these are Hero Arts goodies and I'm so excited. I really don't think I have anything Hero Arts in my stash, but now I do. So I got these 4 goodies and these are from, let me see, 2 different collections. So these 2, this is the Euro Classic stamp set and stencil. So these stencils, you can stamp out your image, and instead of coloring, if you don't want to color, you can use this layering stencil set. So it has 3 layers, and these are from the Euro Classic collection. So I'm excited to use these, but I won't be using these today. I'll use these in a future video. And then these 2 are stencil sets. This is a single stencil. This one is the check please stencil. Goodness, words are hard. And look how pretty you can make this nice checkered background. I am loving that. And again, this is Hero Arts, and this one as well as this layering stencil are from the You've Got a Friend collection. So I won't be using this one today either, but I will be playing with this one. Now this one is the Bitty Floral stencil, and this is a 4 stencil layering stencil set. So let's kind of get started playing with this one. Now, when I was deciding what to do for my sentiment on this, I don't want to use a sentiment that's too big, that it overtakes the background layer, because I do want the background layer to shine, but I don't want something that's too itty bitty teeny tiny that you don't really see it. So I think I'm going to use, where is it? A die I have in my stash that says Just Because, and it's not huge. Let me show it to you. So, I mean, it would be okay. It wouldn't completely overtake the background panel. So let me get my goodies so that we can start ink blending. Alrighty friends, so I have gotten into the habit of using my stamp wheel whenever I'm using some layering stencils. That way I can just line them up in the corner here, and I don't really have to think too hard about lining them up correctly. Not that it would be difficult to do, because check it out. On these Hero Arts stencils, let me see, oh, you can't see on that. I'll show you. Here you go. You can see it has these registration little squares cut out on the corners. And if you ink blend over those, you know, if you're using a larger piece of cardstock, you just line up those registration squares. And then they are etched, so it tells you this is stencil number 1 on the bottom, and then number 2, 3, and 4. So let's start with number 1, and I will get my piece of white cardstock here that it's just some Hammermill cardstock. Actually, what I have to do is first place it on my stencil backwards, and then I will lay it out on my stamp wheel. Okay, so what I'll do first is lay this out, and I have some washi tape here to kind of tape it in place on this stencil for just a second before I lay it out on my stamp wheel. Whoops. I want to put it the right way, so I want to make sure my etching here is at the bottom. And then I can lay this down, and I'll take that tape off now so it doesn't necessarily stick to my stencil when I lift it. And then I can kind of smoosh this here. So I'm going to use my distress inks. So I've got Picked Raspberry, Wilted Violet, Twisted Citron, and some ground espresso. Now, since it is a 4-layer stencil, I am going to try and stick with 4 colors today. Now, I do have my Spellbinders little blending brushes here, so I'm going to pull those in. And I'm kind of think, see, the second layer has the larger flowers, the third has your leaves, and then these are your details. So I think I am going to make my bigger flowers the pink ones and my smaller ones the purple ones. So I will be starting with my wilted violet first to do ink blending. And I'm just going in. Now I do have bigger blending brushes, but because there is some smaller images on these, I'll just use my smaller blending brushes for today and get these all colored in. I actually love using layered stencils because while I do like coloring stamped images, I think this makes for a quick and easy card, and I don't have to think too much about blending colors. So a lot of times when I color, I use my alcohol markers, and so then I'm like, oh, should I start with the darkest color or the lightest? And then it's trying to find the right blend. Even if I use my tri-blend markers, it's always a long thought process for me. But when I'm ink blending on stencils, I just, I try and stick with the number of colors that there are layers of stencils. So in this case, there's 4 layers. I chose 4 colors to just make it quick and easy. Now I did cut my panel here at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I'll trim it down to go on my card base, because I'm probably gonna pop up this background panel, and so I want there to be a bit of a matte border around it. Okay, so we're almost done here. See how easy this is. And then all I do to clean up my stencils is I have a little spray bottle with alcohol in it. So I just spray them with alcohol and clean them up. And that makes for a quick and easy cleanup. And then it dries really quick too. So let's say, for example, this was a stencil I was going to use again with another color right away. If I clean it with alcohol, it dries super quick. Okay, so let's get our first layer stencil picked up. I'm going to hold down my paper just in case. I don't want it lifting. And I'll clean these when we're done. So here's layer number 2, and I'm making sure my etching is at the bottom. I'm just going to lay this in the corner. See how easy that is? So I just lay it in the corner. This time I'm going to use picked raspberry. And because these images are a little bigger, I'm going to go with my bigger blending brush here, which I kind of had to search for. My grandson was in here and he saw me doing some ink blending for another project I'm working on. And he said, "Grandma, can I do that, please?" And I said, "Of course you can." So he scooched me out of my chair, which was hilarious. He just wanted to have, be in the same space. And then he started doing some ink blending, and I just loved watching him. It made me realize, and I know this, it's just sometimes you forget, but kids pay attention to everything you do. He watches how I stamp, how I ink blend, how I color, and he mimics what I do. He's 5 years old, but he loves being in my craft room. I mean, all the grandkids love being in here. In fact, if you stay tuned to my channel, you'll see a little clip of him ink blending, because what he did before he came in and asked to do that was he asked me for my phone, because I use that as my camera. And I was like, "Oh, baby, I don't know where my phone is." And he then proceeded to ask his mom for her phone. And she said, "What do you need it for?" And he says, "I want to take a picture." Well, he proceeded to bring in that phone and set it up on my little camera mount, and record himself doing some ink blending. So stay tuned. That will be on a future video on my channel. Just a little clip of him mimicking Grandma doing ink blending. All right, so that's layer number 2. Now layer number 3, let me check my yeah, my etching is at the bottom there, is our leaves. So I can go in with my twisted citron. Oh, and another thing I like, now I did get the first version of the stamp wheel because it was on sale, but it is a little smaller than version number 2, and it works for my purposes, but I might go back and get the larger one too. But what I like to do is, like, when I'm using my cubes, I can stick these on here and they won't move. So when I'm grabbing some ink, I don't have to, even though sometimes I do it out of habit, I don't have to hold on to that. Okay, so let's do ink blending of our leaves here. Now here I could go in with maybe some different shades of greens, so I would have different color leaves, but today I just want it to be really simple, really quick and easy. Another thing I'll do sometimes with stencils, I haven't done it in a while. I'm not going to do it today. Maybe I'll do it on the next time I do ink blending over layered stencils. Is I'll come in with a micro pen, and with a stencil still on, I'll do the outline of the images, or of some of them, on the panel, and it kind of highlights that image. Or I'll use a fine point Sharpie. So let's say I wanted to go over this one with a darker shade of green. I'll grab my fine point Sharpies and I can outline that way. Just another way to add some extra detail to your stenciling. And I was going to bring in, for layer number 4, some glitter paste I have in my stash, but it dried out. So no glitter paste today, or it's a glitter mousse, I think it was. And the problem with me is I forget I have those in my stash, and so I'll use them, you know, when I get them. I'll open it up and I'll seal it with, you know, press and seal, and I'll try and do all the things, but I just leave them in my stash too long and they dry out. So what I've learned is, if I'm going to buy a new paste, I'm going to buy one and like make as many cards as I can on that first time I open it, so that if I do forget about it and leave it in there too long and it dries out, I won't be super sad about it. Okay, almost done with this. Let me know in the comments below, what other ways do you use your stencils, or your layering stencils to be more precise? One other way, and I've done it a few times, is if I choose to use only 1 or 2 layers of a stencil set, sometimes I'll shift them around. I won't use them exactly the way they are, you know, to line them up. So for example, on this one, I could have just used the smaller florals and shifted my stencil around on my card panel to ink blend them all over the panel. So kind of different options for your stencil. Okay, I think that's good. And I think I got all the greenery. Okay, so another good thing I was going to tell you about putting this in the corner like this, and you can do this, you know, like in anything that you'll have a corner to butt your stencil up against, is if I want to take this off and I go back and say, oh, you know what, I want to add another color, or I want to fix something, you know, I may have forgotten to, let's say, ink blend over here, I can just place it right back in the corner and I'm right back where I was. So that makes it super easy as well. Okay, layer number 4. So this is our final layer. Now I did grab ground espresso here, but now that I look at it, I may want to, no, I'm going to stay simple on this one. Simple, simple. Okay, let me grab another ink blending brush. I'm always second guessing myself, always. Okay, so this is going to be like the details, the, what is it called? The vein on the leaves, and then the centers of your flowers. And I wasn't sure I wanted brown. I thought right now, when I was second guessing myself, going in with a different color for the center of the pinks and then a different one for the center of the purple flowers. But I'm going to make it easy for myself today. I said that when I started because I have a ton of projects to get done this week, friends. We will be celebrating my daughter's 40th birthday. She's my oldest, and oh my goodness, do I feel old now. I can't believe I'm going to have a 40-year-old child. And both her and her partner turned 40. His birthday, which I can never forget, is the same day as my dad's birthday. So he turned 40 this year, a few weeks before my daughter will turn 40. And we're going to celebrate them together. And so I have a lot of party decor to make before that celebration happens. And I don't think she's got time right now to watch my videos, so I'm safe in saying so before the party begins. But I'm making some large paper flowers. I'm making a lot of stuff and trying to make sure we have everything all set for the celebration. We're really excited. Her kids, my grandkids, the older ones, the 18-year-old and now 19-year-old. She just turned 19. Can't believe that either. They've been very helpful. You know, I check with them on, okay, what do you need my help with? Because they're, between them and my niece, they're actually planning the majority of the party. And so, you know, I keep telling them, how can I help? How can I help? And I keep getting told, nope, we got this. You just, if you want to help with making the decorations, that's fine. But the rest we got. So I'm really excited for her. I know she has been having some challenges in her life as of late, you know, with work and car issues and all those sorts of things. And I just, you know, I want her to be able to celebrate her birthday, and we're going to celebrate on her birthday, which I think is amazing. And enjoy, just have a good time. Because don't we want that for all our kids? Don't we just want them to enjoy life and to be happy and healthy and safe? And that's all I want for my kids. Okay, let's see. Did I get everything there? Let's take a peek. I might need to go over it. Oh no, that's perfect. Look, guys. Love it. All right. So let's move my inks out of the way and my blending brush. I can take this off. Now what you can do here is actually remove the sticky mat and peel it back from your card panel so you don't bend your paper. Then I am going to trim this down because if you notice, it doesn't fill up the full A2 card panel, which I kind of like. It's got its automatic matte layer there, right? Without having to add a matte layer. No, I'm gonna trim it down because I'm gonna pop this up. What you could also do, because this kind of gives you its own matte layer there, is stencil directly on your card base. Then you're not trimming or anything. But because I do want to pop this up, I am doing this on a separate card panel. And I'll pop that up and see, we still have a little bit of border there. Alrighty, friends, I am so sorry. My camera cut out as I was putting these pieces together. But I found this piece. It was a full sheet of this specialty cardstock, and you can probably see it has, oh look how pretty, it's like this shimmery brown and it has this floral background. Loving that. So I cut out the shadow layer of that cardstock, and then I used this gold, and let me show you what that is, because part of what I was doing for the decor for my daughter's birthday was I had to make their name for a big backdrop we're doing, and I couldn't find the right shade of gold cardstock in my stash, and I wasn't sure if I ordered it, if I would get it in time. But I did have some vinyl, some adhesive vinyl, and I just attached it to some white cardstock and put that through my Cricut and cut it. And it cut beautifully. And then the leftover pieces I saved because I figured I can die cut pieces out of these. So that's what I used for the sentiment portion here, the one that says just because. And see, it cut out beautifully. And then I trimmed this down a little bit more. So this is now at, what is it, 3 3/4 by 5. And then here's the matte layer of that same specialty paper. So this will go on here, and see, we'll have a little white border. Okay, so let's get this attached first to the card base. And I am going to do this landscape, okay, friends? So let's get this on here. There we go. So you have that small white border around there. Then this I am going to pop up. So I'll just use some foam tape I have in my stash here. This roll. Trying to use up all my different foam tapes I have, because I have a bunch. Like I have some that I bought from the Dollar Tree a long time ago. Those I'm going to use actually to attach the decor for my daughter's birthday onto the backdrop, and that way I'll use those. And then this roll, once I'm done with this roll, that's it of my rolls of foam tape. And then I think I have some other like little foam dots and so forth that I can use. But I want to be sure I use what I have before I buy more, because I'm loving the foam squares from Spellbinders. So I do have some of those, but I'm going to use up the rest of my foam tape first before I use those more, because those are going to be a precious commodity for me. Okay, then we will do our best to center this on our card base here. Let me do it here. Okay, now I can add my sentiment, and you'll see it'll just go here. And at first I thought I would pop this up as well, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to add some liquid glue, and I'm not using my glue press right now because it is in the other room. I forgot to bring it back in here. But I always have extra glue at the ready. I could use, I have this, it's called Clear Star Jelly Roll Pen. I could add that just to the centers to add a little bit of sparkle. Sometimes you have to like scribble around with these jelly roll pens for a minute before the ink starts to flow out, especially if they've been sitting for a while. Now, in case I forgot to mention, because I forget all the time, I will link to anything that is still available in the description box. Let's see, can you tell if I bring it up? Oh, you can. See the little sparkle there? Love it. Love it. Alrighty, friends. Make sure you stay tuned. I'll be using the other goodies from Hero Arts in the next few weeks, and that way you can see what I came up with using those goodies. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just want to make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I want to kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you do.